The Dyson Sphere's construction continues. In the space of one episode, titanium glass production has been dramatically increased, and we're already seeing an uptick in plane filter output here on Galactic Prime as well. Have I mentioned our multi-episode research project is almost done, finally? Hello, Legion, this is Hadrian. Thank you for being here. Let's play some more Dyson Sphere Program in our Alpha Andromedae series. I wanted to show you something else pretty cool as well. This tower is filling up. This tower has been full for a while, but now this tower is filling up, which means that we are about to start fully backing up our solar sail production. Now, that's important because any resource that is part of this will also start backing up. And that just goes backward down the chain. So right now we're already full on these. And we've been full for a while. And what that means is that we're consuming fewer of these optical grading crystals, and we're consuming fewer of these processors, which is wonderful. But as these continue to back up, that problem will only, well, it's actually not a problem. That benefit will just continue to accrue. So I'm really looking forward to that. But this is the thing that I'm most excited about. We now have just a solid line of titanium. Look at this. Every single plane, they're all active. They're all active. Every single one of them has inputs. Now, some of these coming in are not proliferated. Now, we've talked in recent episodes about potentially changing that, about proliferating these so that we can actually, you know, have even more production shenaniganry going on Gacrix 1, which we might very well do now, to tell you the truth, because that could be the very next step. But there are a few other things that I want to take care of just as more minor notes. Two things, really. I do want to go back to Kippa Borealis 1 and make sure that we have enough water feeding into the process. It does seem like the reason that there was a water shortage in the last episode just came down to the fact that I didn't have everything connected. But I left pretty quickly, and now that things have been running for a while on that loop around the planet, I want to make sure that everything is solid and that one of those three input resources is not in shortage. And then, hint hint, as I've been standing here, what I want to do is set these up to import to Alrami so that we can actually be making use of these. Because right now we're not making use of all of these amazing lenses, or not lenses, but photons that are being produced here in the Gacrix system. God, look at this. The sphere is starting to come together, and you can just see it in the sky. Unbelievable. We're currently at, let's look, 16.6 gigawatts. Every single solar sail that we fire is immediately getting pulled in to help form the panels, and it's going to be that way for the foreseeable future. We could even potentially add guns to the equator to increase the rate at which those are being spit out, but it's not 100% necessary. Also, one of the really nice things right now is that since the current frames are built and like there are no additional rockets that need to be launched, rockets are just building up right now. So when we give orders for the next layer to be built, for the next, you know, sets of frames to be built, rockets are just going to launch in a massive swarm. It's going to be spectacular to watch. Eventually, the resource situation will kind of catch up, as you're well aware. That's how this game works. But while there are no rocket launches happening, we're in very good shape. Let's head back to Kippa Borealis. We're really only in Gacrix because I was super curious about how the changes I made last episode had affected what was going on there. And it does seem to have had a positive effect. But it's also kind of hard to tell because, again, rockets are not launching right now. What I really want to see is, once we finish the current research project that we're on and the following three, really just the next one on the list, I'm going to give the order to build the next row of panels. Basically the next latitude set in the Dyson Sphere. And at that point, rockets will start launching, and after a few moments, after that backlog of, after that buffer of rockets has all launched, we'll have an opportunity to actually see how big of a difference these things have made. Alright, so let's return to Kippa Borealis 1. And I just want to see how the production apparatus is looking here. Yeah, titanium is completely fine. Water looks very... That is the water, yes? Yes, that's the water. So it seems like it's actually titanium that's struggling a little bit, which is not surprising. I didn't build a ton of titanium production, and I also did not do anything in terms of building additional plane filters here. So I can build one more now because I happen to have some of the things on me that I need for it. But for the most part, I don't have any of that stuff. So, what I shall do for now is let's lengthen this line, and we're just going to build a bunch more of these. That's 15. Let's build 30 more. Let's go ham with it. Am I actually out of those? That can't be. Yeah, no, they're just not in my... I just hadn't pulled them into the slots. Alright, never mind. Everything's fine. Everything is fine. You didn't see that. Alright, I'll go ahead and delete that because we don't need it to be that long. And then, as I recall, I had this... Yeah. Right up against these. Glorious. And then this should be the last one. Yep. Alright, so that's considerably more titanium production. Now what might actually happen is we may need to bring in more titanium. We'll see. We have a lot coming in here, so it's going to take a moment for it to fully... Well, no, it actually looks like it's pretty solid. Yeah, there's still titanium making it all the way down the line, which is good. Alright, so that will help with titanium glass production here. Let's go back and make sure that everything is in good shape. Yeah, titanium is still struggling a little bit, but I think it's going to start making its way down. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you can literally see it surging past, and it's going to start filling all the way up. Yeah, I think we're in much better shape now. So we're watching the first full revolution of titanium around the planet. So I think we just fixed that problem. Let's actually take a look at it. In the last 10 minutes, oh yeah, you can see the increase. It just went up to 630 and it's still increasing. It was at 507 before that. Not bad. Yeah, 1 hour is not going to give us any reliable information yet, but that is much, much better. Yeah, we're closing in at 800 per minute now, so we just dramatically increased it. And remember, we're not even using the new smelters yet. Okay, next order of business. I'm happy with that. Let's go to Alrami, which is nearby. Somewhere. Right there. Our original Dyson Swarm planet. And we can start importing photons here. Because we already have an apparatus that's designed to export. And I actually think we might be able to expand it here now, given that we're going to be importing so many more than the apparatus here has been designed for. So it might be worthwhile to go ahead and build Alrami up to do a little bit more than has been typical in the past. This is going to be a cool view. How about that? It's been a minute, huh? We haven't visited Alrami in at least 10 episodes, I want to say. Maybe even 20. This planet's just been running. And look, it's still running. Like, we have... Yeah, it's not a very active Dyson Swarm. And it's interesting that it's fluctuating like that. I wonder why. That might just be due to its position. Yeah, that's probably due to its orbital position. Because it's so rhythmic. Like, where it's firing from. That's got to be it. Like, there are certain periods of the year, so to speak. The year for this planet, a single revolution around the sun, where they can fire more based on the angle relative to other years. Or relative to other points in the year. Okay, so... This is... Ooh. So here's our hydrogen backup, and it looks like it's filling up slowly but surely. And deuterium is in copious supply. Like, we just have stupid amounts of deuterium here, which is fascinating. And also doesn't quite make sense. Hang on. Let's see how this is. Okay. So we have it flowing here. Yeah. I see what's going on. It's just... I guess what would make sense to do here would be to add some additional storage. But at the same time, it's not strictly necessary. It just gives me an additional buffer. Remember, every single one of these is 10,000 fluid, which the defaults have changed slightly, but that's one storage chamber. The defaults are not quite the same. These store 12,000 now. Still, it's massive, you know, what these can store when you stack them as high as this. It's just crazy. So, I guess I'll leave the deuterium alone. It's just weird to see so many of those not functioning. However, we can get the other colliders to function, which are... Where are they? They're right here. So we have... Oh, yeah, look at these. These are barely running, actually. So, yeah, absolutely. What we're going to do is we're going to place a splitter here, and we're going to start combining efforts. Oh, this is going to be great. This is going to be really, really great. All right, so we have here the ability to import photons directly. Where are the photons? There you are. Let's go ahead and remote demand. Now this is, we're going to get tons of them immediately. That's going to be great. So all the ships are going to pick it up, which is lovely. It looks like we are almost out of belts, which is not surprising given what I did last episode. So we just need to get... Yep, I can see it. This is not going to be that challenging in the grand scheme. Let's just get these laid down and we'll be done. And with the speed that these transports are operating lately, the chances are pretty good that this is just, like, by the time I finish building this, within seconds, we're probably going to see the first shipment arrive. Okay. That might have been a little optimistic. But still, now we're going to have... I can probably afford to do a lot more now with that, can't I? I would say it's likely. If we go to production, do I not have any particle colliders at all? What did I do with them? Did I set them? Did I build them all? Or are they in storage somewhere? Maybe I put them in storage on Alpha Andromeda too, because I feel like I had extra of those, like, in large amounts. I just happen not to have them on me right now, which is frustrating, but that's life. But the really big deal is that right now, this Dyson Sphere, or this Dyson Swarm, is still not producing enough photons, even with its tidally locked state. It's still not producing enough photons to fully allow just these 6 to work consistently. But in a second, you're going to see a very glowy line come this way. Haha, there it is. And all 6 of these are going to come alive real quick. There we go. Now let's just make sure power is okay here. Yeah, power's completely fine. Alright, so now we're actually backing up a little bit here, which is to be expected. And what I need to do is probably come back here and increase the rate at which I'm producing that stuff. So one thing I'm going to go ahead and do is we're almost done with this research project that is just so close to being finished. I'm so excited because that is something we've been sitting on for 4 or 5 episodes now. Let's go back to Alpha Andromeda. What I'm going to do is I'm going to see what the status is, first of all, on the antimatter. Make sure that we're in good shape there, because we're starting to send that in multiple locations. So I want to make sure that what we just did by bringing in additional photons is directly helpful. I just want to visually verify that. I'm expecting that it's probably in good shape, and now it's going to be in even better shape. But then I'm going to grab those particle containers, because I think I know where they are. I have a catch-all storage that I've been using throughout the series, and I think I dumped them there. And then we're going to go back and we're going to build a few more on Alrami. That's going to be our expansion, as discussed. That's the plan. We have arrived. Such a beautiful world. Bit of a long autosave there. I do need to reduce the frequency on those. I've been meaning to. Try and remember after this episode. Alright, so... Ooh. Coal. Coal. So noted. Hold on. Why is that piler even there? And what are y'all bringing me? Listen, I appreciate your effort, but I'm way over here. Why are you flying way the heck over here? This doesn't make any sense. Stop it. Stop. Stop bringing me things. Why you do this? Let me make sure there's room for all this stuff that's being flown to me. The bots are they're just so loyal and faithful, and they do what they're told, and you know what? I appreciate them for that. Most of the time. Some of the time. A little bit of the time. It's a lot, okay? They're a handful. Yeah, you can see they're still bringing me stuff. They haven't stopped. Even a little bit. They're still bringing me things. You guys, listen. Listen, I applaud your devotion. I have stuff to do. I don't want you to fly too far. So can you get it done? Can you get it done? Can you bring me the rest of the things? Can you? Can you do that? Thank you. Is that it? Are we done? Or are you still bringing me things? You're still bringing me things, aren't you? You're still bringing me conveyor belts. Because I don't have conveyor belts. Yep, they're bringing me conveyor belts. Oh my god. It's like an overly enthusiastic pet, you know? You don't want to hurt its feelings. You just kind of need to let it get it all out of its system. So you can focus on whatever you're trying to actually focus on. Okay. Is that it? Is there any more? Okay. Let's figure out what's going on with coal. Because as I recall, there's a ton of coal on this planet. There is. We just need to set up a new source. Yeah, so that's actually affecting... Well, right now it seems like we do have enough coal coming in, but we also had coal coming... Wait a minute. Let me look at this a little bit more closely. I might have misinterpreted this slightly. Yeah, I did. Because this line, I think, was bringing oil in at one point. This is the coal line. So let me follow this in. Alright, so it looks like, yeah, this one's nearly done. We'll let it keep running. This iron vein is almost done over there. That's good to know. Alright, are you at 100%? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm sure one of you pointed this out to me when I did it. And I just forgot to action it. Wow. We set up... Wow. Okay. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. This is normal. We're just gonna nod and smile as we actually connect this coal miner that's been set up for God knows how many episodes. Everything's fine. Completely normal. And I'm just going to do a T intersection here. There's no point doing a sorter. So, alright, that should help dramatically. And just to make sure it really does help, let's crank up the production on that. And that might be enough, to tell you the truth. But there's more coal, right? Yeah, there's a lot more coal that I can add to this. So, with that in mind... Here's what I'll do. Let's go ahead and set up a splitter here. All right, so now I can come over here and set up a miner on this deposit. Doesn't look like I'm quite going to be able to get it all. I might be able to do this. That's 16 coal veins. Can we get all of them? Maybe? Nah, that one on the end is a little bit too far. But the angle might work. Hang on. Yep, there we go. 16. Got it. Glorious. And now you... can just come across. Oh wow, I didn't realize I had it on exactly the right line, but I do. Well, that's glorious then. So that should be enough to fix the coal situation. I can even, just to compensate for the fact that it's been behind a little bit, let's go ahead and increase the mining rate. With both of those increasing at the maximum, or running at the maximum rate, I don't actually think that they will be able to share that line adequately and split that work. So I think what we're going to see is coal is just going to start filling up now, hopefully. I need to watch this for a moment and ensure this is happening. It's going to be a moment, I think. It does seem like it's starting to back up finally, which is good. Yep. All right, so we're getting coal backed up once more. Glad I caught that while I was home. Okay. Now, the other really important thing to check on. How are we doing over here? Seems like we're completely saturated in terms of our production of this good. How are we on our storage of this stuff? Oh, we're great. We have over 7,000, almost 8,000 antimatter in storage. All right. That's trending in the right direction. Now, what else was I here for? Yes, that's right. Where is that storage? You're over here. Aha! I was right. I'm going to grab all of those because I can. Okay, everything else looks solid here. Like, more than solid. And I'm really excited about this next... I mean, I don't have... Oh, yeah, I need to check warpers, too. Let me take a look at that in a moment. But I'm really excited to see how this situation plays out, because the next few researches that we have on tap are not going to require antimatter at all. They won't require universe matrices. They're just going to use this backstock. So these 4,000, 5,000, and 6,000, these are going to fly by relative to these. These, honestly, if this finishes in the next few moments, it might finish this No, it's not going to finish this episode. It'll finish... Like, if I go longer than is typical, but it'll be near the beginning of the next episode that this one finishes, these three are just going to blow through really fast because of the amount of backstocked research cubes that I have. And remember, this is the first time I've actually done that in terms of having a backstock of cubes. That was just based on an early suggestion that I got when the series had kicked off, and I was like, yeah, sure, let's try that. And I'm glad I did. So how are we doing on warpers? Oh, we're completely fine on warpers. Yeah, I don't know what I was concerned about. We're more than fine. I mean, I can, just to ensure that it stays that way, I can go ahead and increase storage. I think I can afford to do that. That's fine. All right, so next stage of things then. If we're gonna start proliferating things on Gackwix Prime, what do we need? Proliferator paint requires coal. Now, coal will need to be imported probably from Leonis Minoris 2. That's our ocean planet. That'll be my guess as to where we'll import it from. But we'll take a look around. There are places with lots of coal, and I want to find a planet with lots and lots of it, so that I don't, so that we just have it, you know, reliably coming in. And then Proliferator Mark II will require diamonds. Now, diamonds are easy because we have a special diamond recipe. All we need is to bring in kimberlite ore, and we'll have diamonds. And then finally, we have carbon nanotubes, which again, they're easy because we need spiniform stalagmite crystals. So yeah, actually, I just need to get some coal importing set up, and I'll be golden. So let's find out where we're going to do that. let's pick a place that's close to Gakrux. More unintentional Terminator themes. Now, there is coal in that system, but not a lot. And I would prefer to find a place that has just copious amounts. Just absurd amounts of coal. That's what I want. I mean, it already has more than 2 million, so that actually might be pretty high in the grand scheme. Ooh, Farud has almost 10 million, and it's very close to Gakrux, so we have a definite candidate. Sterope has over 5 million. Beta Capricorni has not quite 1 million. I've already checked NSV. That's about 500,000. Delta Vopiculae has about 750,000. Alright, we've got 2.5 million there. So yeah, I would say that Farud is our candidate. What about Neos? 1 million? Okay. Yeah, so here's the question. Where is it? Oh, we've got a Gobi planet. I have not yet been to a Gobi planet in this particular playthrough. Okay. Well, this is a... It's neither a wind or solar planet by default, but we are going to head to that world and start pulling in coal. And we might even... I don't know. Do we export the coal, or do we manufacture the proliferator paint just there and import it directly elsewhere? You know? Maybe I need to have a world dedicated to each stage of the proliferator paint. Maybe that's the smart choice, and maybe I found the one. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. We're going to do one each. And I'll work on it for the remainder of this episode. Let's head to Farud. Now, I do have, you know what, detour. We'll go to Farud in a second. I've got Al-Rami in my sights. We're going to land and extend the production line for antimatter, because it seems like antimatter is okay, but I want it to stay that way. And if we have to increase the rate at which antimatter fuel cells are being produced, then I would like to be able potentially to do that without blinking. That would be ideal. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that there was a Sakura forest planet in Al-Rami. Or maybe I did know that, but... Are you serious? You've been here this whole time. So this planet probably has tons of spiniform stalagmite crystal that I had just forgotten about. That's hilarious. There's probably a lot of coal there, too. Hang on. Hold on. How much coal do you have? Holy! Just kidding. We don't need to go to Farud. We're fine. Sorry, Farud. You've been demoted. You've been demoted. We found something in the Al-Rami system, and we already have the Al-Rami system in use, and we can do a lot more power-wise from you. So yeah, sorry. So sorry. Oh, that's hilarious. Let's warp. Get this travel done a little faster. Hello. The music. Chills, man. Holy crap, it's just so good. Not kidding, like I like shivered when that harmony hit. It's so good. All right. So this is where we need to extend things a little bit. Let's we're not gonna be able to do a whole lot unless I can get away with that. Hang on. Let's do a little bit more by bringing them this way. Now you have two outputs, so these lines need to come this way. Alright, and it looks like I need to bring these back into inventory. That's fine. Oh, nice. That was a much more perfect fit than I was anticipating. Don't say it, Hadrian. Don't say it. It's not necessary. Everybody's already thinking it anyway. You don't need to be a child. Everything's fine. Okay. Oh, wait. There we go. Alright, so that's going to slightly increase hydrogen output as well. But it's also going to increase power consumption, but not in a way that's concerning remotely. Okay, well, we don't we don't need to go to Farud at all. We just need to come over here to a system that we already have under our control. Which begs the question, I mean, I'm going to fly over there and land, but it begs the question, like, what other, you know, resources do I have in systems that I've already, you know, set up outposts in that I haven't noticed because I've always looked for new stars rather than looking at my existing systems for resources I haven't exploited yet? You know? Begs the question. Alright, we've arrived. And I have to know. I do have to know. Alright, so we have Alpha Andromeda here. There's Kippa Borealis. Not a lot of coal. Zeta Ra. 13 million coal. In Zeta frickin' Ra. Now, granted, one of the reasons, to be completely fair, one of the reasons we liked Farud is that it's closer to Gakrux. So, credit where due. Alrami is farther away. Alrami is nearly as far from Gakrux as Gakrux is from the neutron star. And the black hole's way over here. So there is an argument to going to Farud. There's a second argument too. You know what? I changed my mind. We're going to go to Farud because my imagination, like, I want to see another planet type. I want to experience in this series more of the complete variety of planets that are in Dyson Sphere Program, if for no other reason than just to show you. So let's stick with our original plan. This is going to allow us to export the stuff that we need much closer to Gakrux. But one really nice thing is that we now know that there are worlds already within systems that we've set up outposts in that can export huge amounts of coal. And I'm going to set up this world that I'm going to now to import coal very similarly to the way that Alpha Andromedae 4 does. So that when eventually, which won't happen in this series, but in theory, when this planet runs out of resources, the coal to fuel the production of the proliferator paint, then it won't actually have to stop producing because we're just going to be bringing in other resources. Alright, so we've arrived in Farud. Gakrux is close by. It's so close that I imagine when the sphere is built, like, its light is going to be noticeably occluded in this system. That's going to be interesting. Alright, let's go ahead and turn that off. And was it Farud 3? Nope, it's 2. Which is right there, a little bit closer. This is a Gobi planet. It's exactly what it sounds like. You can see indentations where there maybe was once water, but it is now a desert planet. Not quite Mars-like. There's a different planet type that's meant to resemble Mars. But this is close. So now, I remember looking at this. All right, solar is kind of the way to go here. We don't have that many solar panels, but I think I've got enough to make it all the way around. Let's see how this goes. Again, this is just going to be to get started, and I will probably, especially, no, I don't want to burn the coal for any other purpose. I want to be efficient here, so I'm not going to burn coal for power. We could totally do that, though. It just wouldn't be a lot of power, which is why I'm not going to worry about it. All right, so it's 15 for every single one of these that I place, and I didn't have that many. So I'm hoping that I'm able to get all the way around here. Okay, it looks like I might have just run out. Yep, I just ran out. So I don't actually have what I need. That's a shame. I'm still going to get these built as soon as I can. I think some of my construction bots might be flying around the world to catch up with me right now. That's unfortunate. I will need to... Well, hang on. Maybe I have what I need. Yeah, I can make 20 more. 20 more is not a lot, though. Actually, wait. Cancel that. Delay that. Let's do one at a time. At least that way it's done a little faster. And I think there is silicon here, so one thing I could potentially do is I could just go ahead and start mass producing them here. There's no reason to go back to Alpha Andromeda 4. I think this planet probably... Yeah, I've got everything I need here. Don't have a ton of iron, but I've got enough to support the construction of some basic frickin' solar panels. I don't have to go anywhere. This technology is definitely going to finish this episode. Or near the end of this episode at the beginning of the next one. I just want to finish this ring at the very least before we wrap up. Okay, that's that. So I'm going to have to do some... Yeah, so yeah, we just built one of the solar panels. We're going to have to build some solar panels here, but then we are going to get copper exporting, or not copper, but coal. But on top of that, we might not even export the coal. We might just, as I said, we might just produce the paint here and then export it to a nearby world as soon as I can, which will be a world that produces diamond. And then we will export that to a world that produces carbon nanotubes, which I might let that world be Gakrux. I might let the final stage world be Gakrux so that we can produce the paint on Gakrux and just have it start proliferating everything. But that'd be nice to have proliferator paint on Gakrux because there's a lot of things that will go a lot faster with full proliferation, but also I'm going to need more power. I don't think that's going to be a problem, though. Anyway, I'm going to stop this episode here, and in the next one, we have our work cut out for us. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this one, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to follow along. If it's not your first time or even your second, look for the join button to access unique emotes, badges, and other perks. New episodes are coming out every day. Oh, look at that. At noon, U.S. Eastern Time, and comments are always welcome. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.